The direct costs of mortality are enormous. If we have roughly 10 million children dying under the age of 5 every year, and a quarter of them are dying due to diseases that they could be successfully vaccinated against. That's just a staggeringly large number. In the United States, there are only 20 million children under the age of 5. If 10 million of those were to die, that would be half of all the children in the United States under 5 dying, and a quarter of those are coming from a problem which we can solve. I was born and bred in Dublin, Ireland. The Irish have always been concerned with the welfare of those outside of Ireland. But I think what I took from it was really as I say, a focus and a concern for affairs that are going on outside of your border. I moved here in 1992 to undertake a doctorate in economics at Harvard. During that time, I came to take coursework with Jeffrey Sachs. I think it's fair to say he was an influential figure in the way I began to think about international economics and the issues that are out there. The goal of reducing childhood mortality by 2/3 is actually an extraordinary one when it comes to the welfare of the country in question. Why would you say that this is something we really need to focus on? When we think about the issues that perhaps are at the heart of those living comfortably in the United States, I think one of them is a sense of security in the world. And one of the things that compromises that sense of security is failed states. CIA undertook a study in 1994 of what is it that causes states to fail. Number one is childhood mortality. Countries with high infant mortality are more likely to fail than other countries. The other two factors they identified were openness, which goes to macroeconomic openness and trade, and third, democracy. But childhood mortality is maybe a surprise to people, but it was one of those three significant factors which leads to state failure. These are compelling reasons, I think, to be involved in the initiatives that Gabby's involved in. It's something that you can address by bringing in large amounts of money and getting people behind it. It's easily scaled. So those two together I sort of classify as being goals that are within reach. We can get there. And if I'm thinking about spending $1 today on something that I feel is going to produce results, that I know can produce results in a way that has a dramatic impact, reducing childhood mortality is that goal. The joy of giving is a central part of the motivation that drives me. It gives you a sense of your place in the world, both geographically today and almost longitudinally through time, where we stand today in 2008 versus where we've been and where the world might be able to go. My daughter was fascinated to see the photographs from our trip to the Lao PDR, and I explained to her again where I'd been and what I had done. And without a word, she disappeared and went up to her room and came down with her piggy bank and opened it up and emptied it out on the table and said, "Dad, can we give this money to the kids to get shots too?" So that's how, when you're talking to her and you see how the notion of privilege in one country versus other countries which are not so fortunate, when you see that go through a kid's mind, yes, that's absolutely an important value, I think, that I'd like my kids to grow up with.